Miss Resentment. What's peace? I haven't seen peace in my lifetime. Yep, I'm the spirit of resentment. And I'm not very loud, and I'm not mean. Oh, God, I'm just secretly ticked off at the whole world. Resentment. Ooh. It's a poison that slowly drains the life out of you. What's my motto? Don't get mad. Don't get real. Don't get over it. Just silently stew in the brew of resentment. That'll fix it.
I'm Mr. Agitated, or better known as Miss PO'd. I'm an irritation that lives within you, all of us. I'm just waiting. Then without warning, arr! Here I am again. You don't even know why you're so irritated, but you are, because Mr. Agitated's always here, living inside you, sitting on top of all those things you'd rather not be or face. I agree, why deal with anything? Arr! Just be irritated and forever withhold your peace.
Did someone say let go? You must be kidding. I'm here to represent the spirit of clinging. You know, holding on no matter what. I can't even imagine letting go. I won't imagine letting go. Why should I? I'd rather cling. I'd rather keep things just the way they are. Cling, cling, cling.
Well, howdy. I'm the voice of opposition, also known as the devil's advocate. If I look tired, it's because opposition is a hard job. Don't worry, I'll never be too tired to argue and oppose. Never. It's a great way to get stuck. You never have to get past go. You never really have to do anything. Just argue and oppose, argue and oppose. Catch my drift?
I am criticism. Can you recognize me? Not the look you were expecting, right? I can criticize without saying a word. Jeez, look at that. You know the look. You just look down on somebody. I'm also that icky inner voice of self-criticism. Stick with me, kind of like Velcro. Just stick with me. I'll hold you back. Criticize, criticize, criticize.
Can you recognize me? Miss Rejection. Known as Miss Attitude. Okay. Before you ask the question, I've already made up my mind. I've got attitude. Pay no mind to what you say. I'll reject you. Talk to the hand. Stick with me and I'll keep you safe by holding you back. Rejection, attitude, can you identify?
Give them a hand. All right, so did any of those speak to you? Okay, let me try that again. Did any of those speak to you? Of course they do. We can all recognize the subtle and not so subtle ways that we hold our own self back. So how do we move beyond that? Well, first of all, this concept of holding on. Sometimes we hold on for good reason. It's really important to hold on to what you believe at certain times. It's really good to hold on to the faith, to hold the high watch, to stand up for what you think is right. Nothing wrong with that. So it's not always acquiescing or letting go, but it's being able to recognize and know that when is my holding on and how am I holding on? And is that really an attempt to keep the status quo, to keep me safe, to keep things just the way they are? Because remember, the physical body is always evolving. It's always sequentially unfolding, revealing greater and greater expressions of itself. And so thus the spirit is seeking as well. There are 4 steps that we're going to look at just for a few minutes. 4 things that anyone can do. Now this doesn't matter if brand new, if this is your first time of hearing anything like this, you can grasp a hold of these, and I promise you they will make tremendous change in your life. It's as the saying goes though, the principles work if you what? Work it. Yeah, you got to work it. And if you've been practicing spiritual practice for all your life, again, it works if we work it. Number 1 is to learn to be centered. When I was in Hawaii, I had a friend from Germany. Her name is Kaya. And one day we were together. She made wonderful rye bread. And one day I went over to see her and to pick up some rye bread. And I said, "How are you doing today, Kaya?" And she said, "I have been next to myself all day." I said, "What?" She said, "I've been next to myself all day." And I finally got it. And what she was saying was, anybody know? Beside myself. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that one out. I'm like, how have you been next to yourself? Well, in her German to English translation, that's what she came up with. I've been next to myself all day. Well, do you recognize what it feels like to be beside yourself? Or out of your mind, scattered, disoriented? Or maybe you find yourself walking away from a situation and you feel like, why did I say that? Or why in the world did I do that? Or you get ready to lay down at night to go to bed and you start that judgment, you start beating yourself up because you did something that you didn't want to do. You showed up in a different way. That happens because we are not centered. Learning to remain centered is becoming more and more and more important. I just confirmed, and I'll share more of this, but we're lining up some really amazing speakers and workshops and things for next year. And one of the speakers that is coming has a book out on 2012, and she does lots of other kind of remarkable stuff. But you've heard about 2012. It's obviously approaching, and there's all sorts of theories. But one thing that we do know from, if you look at it from sheer astronomy, that the galaxy is lining up. And when the energies of the universe are coming into alignment, everything in the manifest world that is out of alignment, meaning if I say one thing and do another, is that in alignment? No. If I'm living in such a way that I'm faking it, I'm fronting it, if my financial situation is a mess, if my relationships are a lie, there's an energy in the universe that is bringing itself into alignment, and you're feeling it. Many of you are feeling it already. Are you feeling sort of a quickening that you don't have as much wiggle room to just not be real? Well, let me tell you, it's going to get more and more in alignment.